just started dating my girl Alex. All right, and Alex right over there. She's much younger. Okay, so I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm thinking Alex is gonna be there for me.
What's
But
the age difference?
ah, 32 years. Okay, he laughing. This is what I get from everybody. But check this out. Okay, look at me. Oh, you sipping on that one?
Continue, sir.
I will continue.
Hey Raindrops, thank you all so much who have subscribed to the channel. You guys have really helped spread the word, build this channel together, because I can't do this without you guys. And I know y'all want me to interview a lot of people, child, but in order for me to do that, I need to make sure my subscribers match the millions of people who do watch my videos. So all you have to do, okay, is hit the subscription button. That's it. I ain't asking for much, child. And enjoy this video.
Raindrops, on today's episode, Reality with the King, we have an exclusive. It's his first sit down that he hasn't done in over a year, but he gave it to your boy Carlos King because as a fellow Libra, he loves me the most. I'm talking about the Jamaican king, the king of the nightlife scene. Yes, give it up for the one, the only, not Patricia, but Peter Thomas.
Not Patricia. Not Patricia. You like that part, right?
Look at that.
You were holding on to that one. Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do people in your face,
Yeah.
as a joke, of course, do they call you Patricia?
That happened probably around maybe 5 or 6 years ago in Baltimore. Them Negroes in Baltimore brave. You know what I'm saying? They will say it to your face. I'm like, really? You know what I mean? And I'm just kidding. Yeah.
How you been, Peter?
I'm good. I'm good again.
You look great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So obviously, listen, the world knows that you recently got out of prison.
Yeah.
This is your first in-person sit-down post-prison interview that you've done.
Yeah.
So listen, we all really just want to know, like, mentally, spiritually, how are you?
I think I'm great now. Yeah. Now that it's behind me, not really completely behind me because I still have to report to probation like once a month, So you have to report to somebody, kind of like, I never had to report to anybody in my life, so.
And when you say report to somebody, what does that look like?
Once a month, I got to call in, or they call me, and they could pull up on me anytime, anytime in the night, anywhere I am. They could say, stay right there, we're on our way, to come and see you. And if they want, they could find a restroom and have you do a piss test right there on the spot. And if you come up dirty, you're going straight back to jail. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're out, but you're not really out. You're not completely out until that period is over. But it's better to be out. To be honest with you, when I was going away, and not knowing, like it's like doing Housewife. To be honest with you, you tape, and then 4 or 5 months later, on a Thursday, you'll get to see the episode, and you already forgot about it, and then it came back up, and then the whole world is gonna see it on Sunday, and then come Monday, it's crazy, right?
Yes,
Okay,
right.
That's how it was, right? Now with this situation is that you got to go to court for it. You did a plea bargain because there's nobody else in my case but my brother. And when they was talking about my brother being locked up because Bar 1 Miami Beach was under his name, I'm like, nah, that can't happen. My mom and my brother need each other. So I said, nah, you got to get my brother out of the equation. So they said, well, you have to do a plea. And I said, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Well, you could get up to 5 years. I said, whatever. My brother's not going to jail for 1 hour.
So wait, I didn't wait. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
So when you were charged with tax evasion,
Yeah.
right?
It's not really tax evasion. It's withholding taxes. There's a
Withholding
big
taxes.
difference, yeah.
Well, explain to me the difference.
Withholding taxes is tax evasion is when you made a lot of money and personal taxes and you don't pay it. Like you go out and spend all your money, like they said what Wesley Snipes did as an example, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Withholding taxes is on the business side. It's not personal. On the business side, I had a nightclub in Charlotte and I had a restaurant in Charlotte. The restaurant was doing phenomenal, but I went because of my ambition. I went and got the nightclub, and the nightclub, beautiful, beautiful spot. As a matter of fact, I haven't walked into anything that pretty ever. All right, but the nightclub was surrounded by Live Nation. Okay, so Live Nation have 3 venues: amphitheater behind me, 2,000-seater, and then it has an 800-seater. And every time I would book someone, they would book heavier. Then they got more money than me, so they would book heavier. So the traffic is just one way into the music factory, one way out of the music factory, and that used to kill me because my people couldn't get there. So you start falling behind in the revenue that you're making, which puts you in a predicament where you can't pay your staff on time, okay? You can't pay your revenue taxes on time. But my restaurant is doing well. That has a whole parking lot by itself, and it's downtown. It's doing extremely well. So you start borrowing from the restaurant to bail out the club, and it got to a point where both of them was doing bad because I'm trying to hold on to the club. I should have just let it go, but I was trying to hold on to it as I'm holding on to the restaurant, and it got so ridiculous that I'm like, yo, you know what? Charlotte is not working out for me. I'm going to go down to Miami. So I came to Miami in 2018, and I found Bar One Miami Beach. Remember, we started with Bar One on the show back in
17,
2009.
18?
No,
Oh, you mean
2009,
on
yeah,
Housewives?
Housewives,
Yes,
yeah.
Atlanta Bar One. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, that was a great brand. So I wanted to bring, when I left to go to Charlotte, I didn't bring Bar One with me. I started Sports One, and then I did Club One. And then when Charlotte got ridiculous, I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to go back where I started my career in Miami, and I'm just going to open Bar One. And when I got down here, I had a beautiful location. So that's, it started picking up. Things started picking up for me. It got away from everything that I dislike in Charlotte to come to Miami Beach. And at the time, it was like $400 and something thousand that was owed up there. I figure I'd make a deal with the IRS to pay the withholding taxes.
So the bar in Atlanta you owed, or the one in Charlotte?
No, the one in Charlotte. Atlanta
So the one in
wasn't
Charlotte you
equation.
owed $400,000 in taxes.
Yeah, between the nightclub
and the restaurant.
But mostly the nightclub.
Okay.
And you don't pay them on time. The interest and the penalty is twice as much as the charge. So it grew. I came down to Miami and I dove into Bar One Miami Beach, and I went back and forth negotiating the taxes in Charlotte. And the week before, the supervisor signed off on it, and we called and said, "Hey, look, I just sent you. I think I sent like $100,000 in good faith to pay," and they said, "Mr. Thomas, we can't move forward." And I said, "Why?" They said, "Because Special Investigation Unit got involved." I said, "Who are they? How could we talk to them?" And me and my lawyer, those was the questions. And they're like, "No, you can't get in touch with them. You have to wait until they get in touch with you." And I'm like, "So what I do about the payment?" She said, "Everything is on hold." I said, "Okay."
So the $100,000 you was giving to
Charlotte, North Carolina, for withholding taxes.
You wanted to pay $100,000 on top
towards not on top, towards my bill.
what you owed.
Yeah.
And they rejected it.
No, they accepted the money, but to sign off on the settlement, they didn't sign off as yet. When I sent the money, it was on good faith that for the arrangement.
Yeah.
Okay, and by the time I don't think I should mention her name, but by the time that supervisor was supposed to sign off on it, she said, unfortunately, we can't move forward because Special Investigation Unit is involved. I don't know anything about no special investigation unit.
Because
Yeah.
the IRS, the thing with them is they'll work with you when you try to make a payment plan and
Yeah.
an installment agreement.
Yeah.
But that is something you have to do soon,
Yeah.
right? So how long did you owe on the $400,000 before you decided to pay $100,000 towards it?
Probably over a year, because I had to get the new business up and running to help pay off the
investigated you-
whole. They invested in me for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. After I spoke to her and the deal was dead, I didn't hear from these people again, and probably until a year later. You know, they just show up in Miami at a restaurant, and they interview one of my manager for over an hour. You know, she was extremely bright, so she retained everything that they asked and to write it down shortly after they left. And I believe they went to my condo looking for me. I wasn't there. They left a note on my building. And when I did call her, she was like, "Oh, Mr. Thomas, I went to your house. Really nice residence you have." And I'm like, "Yo, thank you." And she said, "You know, we want you to come in and see us." So immediately after that, I called my attorney, Vincent Flynn, and Vinny said, "No, give me their number and I'll talk to them, and we move on from there." So from that point on, it took another year before there was a settlement. And part of the settlement, since my brother's was like the CEO of Bar in Miami Beach, they said, "Yo, we'll make a deal if you take of course I want to take it. My brother really didn't have nothing to do with any of the decision that I was making. You know, so definitely I took that plea and make sure Earl had nothing to do with anything. And that point on, once you take the plea and they accept the plea, now you got to wait another year before your sentencing. You know, so in that 2 years of all of that going on, you know, when you have never been locked up before, the stress was unreal, because you don't know what you're going to face. You don't know what the judge is going to say. You don't know. I start Googling the judge, find out his name. He was appointed by Trump. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm anti-Trump. You know what I'm saying? So
The thing that is interesting is when you were under investigation,
yeah,
and they did it after you owed money for over a year, typically, and again, research has shown that typically that money would have to lapse for years before the Special Investigations Unit at the IRS step in, because they feel like like you said, the interest and the penalty have incurred so much, and it's been years that we're coming for you. Typically within a year or a little over a year, it is surprising that they decided to come at you at that point. Do you think did someone tip them off?
that would be some kind of conspiracy theory at this time. But what I do know is that we had an extremely successful waterfront property on Miami Beach, and I'm extremely vocal about being pro-black, and we were in the lobby of a building that didn't want us there at all, and where we started a lawsuit, and my landlord was part of that lawsuit in favor of me, okay, because they were suing him, suing me, the whole 9 yards, and wanted to get us out of that property because my restaurant is 98% African American, Caribbean. Okay, that means it's all colors of black people. And it was in a property where they were selling the lowest unit at that point at the Bentley Bay probably was around over $1 million. And we were going real hard back and forth with the racism shit. The lawyer got kicked off the case because he wrote such a vicious letter accusing us of stuff that never happened, where the judge, take him off the case. She was offended by how deep he went with no proof. And at the same time, they were breaking ground for a building called Fifth Park, which is the tallest condo building on South Beach, most expensive building on South Beach. So, the theory in mind is that damn, it was all good before this building broke ground. You know what I'm saying? To start construction, and immediately after they broke ground, the pressure just started coming. Oh, you cannot have valet, even though we have valet right in front of our spot. And the average age that come to my place is 40 years old, so we're not asking them to walk a block. So they took away the valet from us. Then my customer literally have to walk a whole city block to come to the front door. Then they took away the planters from in front of the front door, the red carpet walk up that I had going on. And this is after 2 years of me being there, and we only think like, why they start doing this all of a sudden? Why we can't have our own valet? And then when they move our valet to the entrance of the Bentley Bay, then the condo people, that's 98% white, okay, didn't want to pull up in front of their driveway and see all these black customers coming back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So it gets it got volatile to a level that where as soon as a car pull up to drop off for customers, they would have the towing company there, like no stand-in. They start it's cold harassment. And that went on for a while, and all of that was going on shortly before I got to know there's no deal. They're not going to sign off on the IRS, and it just got increased. Like shortly after that, we got the call that that special investigation was now involved. So we kind of put it together like somebody probably say, how are we going to get rid of this guy? And since I have no record and we don't sell no drugs and we're making legal money and we have a waterfront property, one had to think that, why would that happen?
So, for the record,
Yeah.
when you pled guilty and did not decide to fight it only because you did not want to involve your brother.
Exactly.
Okay.
If I'd went to court with it, then, and once you go to court with the federal government, it's very difficult to beat them in court. No matter what you think your answer is going to be for vindication, you just can't win against them. And my lawyer's like, yo, I'll take your money, but you're not going to win. And once they involve Earl in it, there's no way I could move forward. So I said, I'll take it, whatever it is.
And what did you take exactly?
At that point, they were saying somewhere between 42 to 60 months, okay? And I'm like, I did the calculation, like 6 months is 5 years. Oh, my God, I'm going to be old when I get out there. You know what I'm saying?
Take us to the moment when you first went to prison.
Wow.
Like, what was that first day like for you? Because the thing is this, I know you. And what people don't know about you is this.
Yeah.
Despite what they want to say, you have a good heart.
Yeah.
And you are sensitive.
Extremely.
Okay, so we can admit that. Okay. And so my heart bled for you because I know that, listen, you can handle your own. I'm not worried about that. But I know that inherently you have a great heart. You are sensitive. You love people. You're not trying to like get into anything violent. Like that's never been your thing, right? So walking into prison, what was that first night like for you?
Well, I mean, wow, what led up to it is a lot of bad decisions because of out of desperation. I started putting together a restaurant in Norcross in Atlanta called One Society, and I had sold the unit to get the money, and 3-4 investors come on board, and it took me like around 8-9 months to get it together, and by the time I got it together, I had to go away, and I was kind of hoping that it was up and running, and it was doing well before I go away, but that wasn't the case, because energy was, the energy of people knowing me going away, probably at shift, no one was really coming out the way I want them to. I was in panic mode all the time. I was doing business with people I probably would never, ever have done business with, just trying to salvage something, and hoping that my brother and the 2 other people that was involved would stand up while I'm gone. So I figure if I get it together and I'm away, I'm coming back out to something active that's making money because I've never had a failure. So that didn't happen. I just started dating my girl Alex, all right, and Alex right over there, and she's much younger. Okay, so I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm thinking Alex is gonna be there for me.
What's
But-
the age difference?
32 years. Okay, he laughing. That's what I get from everybody. But check this out. Okay, look at him. Oh, you sipping on that one?
Continue, sir.
I will continue. Okay, but anyway, you don't know what's gonna happen. Your life is crumbling in front of you. At the time, I'm like, wow, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna be. My birthday's I'm gonna be in jail on my birthday. On my 65th birthday, I'm gonna be in jail. And I didn't know how long I was gonna be in jail. So to me, if the judge said, "Fuck all of that," I'm giving you 60 months. You know what I'm saying? Because it's his right. He could do that. Then I'm like, I'm done. I'm over. My lawyer's like, well, you took the plea, 2 months before I went to get sentenced, the prosecutor did a motion to the judge, to the court. The U.S. prosecutor did a motion to the judge that I should serve no less than 2 years, right? So I'm like, damn, that's a long time, and my mind, of course, is not right. Again, like this didn't happen when I was in my 20s or my 30s.
Right.
For it happened, so late in my life, being removed for 2 years is like being removed for 10 years. I can't jump back like that. So the stress was unreal. And then the night before, I made a lot of bad decisions based off me trying to hold, my restaurant in Norcross together. And it affected my relationship. So the day I was going to jail, I had a huge fight with Alex the night before. And Alex had drove from Sarasota to come to go with me. Viv, my sister, came down from New York. Earl came down from New York. My friends all did, like Len and a bunch of my friends, Lou Tucker, everybody did a dinner with me the night before I go in. And I'm seeing all of these people knowing that I'm probably not going to see them again for a couple of years. But the judge ended up, instead of 24 months, and my lawyer was asking for a year and a day. And after I spoke, and he asked me, so, Mr. Thomas, how did you get into this situation? And then I'm like, well, Your Honor, to be honest with you, I was losing my business. And, my landlord is first. My purveyor is second. My employees are third. The revenue department is fourth. And withholding taxes, I even thought I would have went to jail for no withholding taxes. You know what I'm saying? But in that order, in order for me to stay, survive and get my business back on track. And because I explained it to him in such a way that he completely understood what I was saying, he said, well, I'm not going to do what the prosecutor's asking and give you a minimum of 24 months, but I'm not going to do what your lawyer's asking for a year and a day. I'm going to do one better. I said, what's that? I'm thinking he's going to say 6 months or something. He said, I'm going to give you 18 months. I'm like, hey, okay, I'll take it. I don't have a choice but to take it. And it was just me and Earl in the federal courthouse. Alex was back in the hotel waiting on me to come back to give her the news because she had flew to Charlotte to make sure she went to court with me. So when I got back, like when I walked out of it, I'm like 18 months. I didn't know anything about First Time Act. I didn't know anything about FSA credits. I didn't know anything about none of that. So the night before, Alex and I got to blow up. In the morning, she wasn't going with me, so it was just me, Earl, Viv, and Earl girlfriend, and my son Peter, that drove me there, and my friend Abdul, my bestie, that all went there with me, and had to walk, turn myself in and walked and looked at them, and I thought Alex broke up with me the night before, so that kind of hurt, it sting, So here I am in jail. When I walked in the FCI in Miami, my counselor was in the lobby, and he came over and he was just staring at me for a while. So when I went to the other side, and they change let you take off your street clothes. I had my Tom Ford on. I had to take my Tom Ford off, and they said, "What you gonna do with this? You want to mail it somewhere?" I'm like, "Nah, donate it." You know what I'm saying? All right, and then they put me in the oversized. I think they did it because of who I am, because all those black guards at the time knew who I was, and they just made me look like dumb. They'll give me a pants, overall that's 3 times the size. I have to hold it up like this. I think they did it on purpose just to check me.
Were you like in a real prison or like?
That was a real FCI in Miami is a Federal Correctional Institute, is a low, but they operate it like it isn't a low. They operate it like it's a prison. It's a prison. You're locked in a cell, But I wasn't going to that. But when I got there, I said, "Oh my God!" I thought I was going across the street. And then my counselor came over and he introduced himself and he said, "Hey, I'm going to be your counselor, and somebody's going to come and walk you across the street." Okay, well, it's not across the street, across the camp. And that was the camp was, FPC.
And that's how much.
Federal Prison Camp. It's
like what Martha Stewart went to.
But she probably went to somewhere much nicer. This is probably like where Sean Combs is right now, like where Puff is. He's in Fort Dix. So that camp have like 200 inmates. They have 4 quarters. All right, and the first quarter I went into was a whole party. I can't talk beyond that. And I'm like, "Is any of this legal?" And they're saying no. And when the guards are coming, I see everybody's hiding their shit. So I'm like, "Oh, I can't be here." All right. Then they put me into another unit, and the guy 3 beds over from me, he had a problem where he would defecate on himself. So, and then they had the fan blowing that way, so I'll be smelling shit for like 2 days. I'm like, "I can't do this." I went in and I talked to my caseworker, all right, and they figured out a way to move me again. They moved me 3 times in 4 days. And they moved me to a unit where I end up staying in that unit for 7 months, after that. And what it is it's a huge, like, dormitory, open, no partition, and 25 guys are on one side, and then there's a 6-foot wall, and on the other side of the 6-foot wall is another 25 guys. And I go to sleep every night, okay, there's no privacy whatsoever, with a guy to my right, this far from me, and then a guy to my left that far from me.
All in one cell?
Yeah, no, all in one open dorm.
One open dorm.
Yeah, just beds. It was crazy.
Obviously everyone knew who you were?
No, because at that point, well, the first 2 places they put me, it was a lot of brothers and Puerto Ricans. the third place where I land, it was like 4 black guys. I was the 5th, and then there's a lot of people, mostly Jewish, that was on that side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did some recognize you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people recognized me in there.
Okay.
The caseworker knew who I was. My counselor knew who I was. All the guards knew who I was. All the black guards knew who I was. And then so the word spread. So everybody's looking at me to see if I'm going to be looking for special treatment, but I blend in with everybody.
Did anyone ever try to test your manhood?
Oh yeah, that definitely happened a couple of times.
In what way?
I don't know if I could speak on that, but yeah, we blows, people throw, fight. They want to say, oh, Peter Thomas from Housewife.
They tried
You
to
know what I'm
fight you.
saying? Yeah. Over nothing.
They
Yeah.
would pick a fight with you.
Yeah.
Would some hits land on you?
Oh no, not on me.
You would fight back.
Yeah, I would fight back, of course. you cannot not fight back. If you're not fight back, then what you gonna look like? You know what I'm saying?
That makes me sad.
Why?
Because I just said earlier, you have a good heart. You're very
Yeah.
sensitive. You're not.
Yeah.
I know you can defend yourself.
One of the guy
Obviously-
was like Minnie Mouse. I should call his name. His name is Junior, like Minnie Mouse. You know, he work out every day, and I think they took whatever he used to be
Juice
that way.
up,
They took
yeah.
it to juice up. They took it from him, kind of threw him off, and he wanted to fight me over the TV room. I'm in the TV room and I'm watching the TV. I was watching. It was the playoff, the NFL playoff, and he'd get upset that I'm in his TV room that's on his side of, like I was in I can't even remember, J1, 2, and he was in 3, 4. All right, and we have a TV over here. They have a room over there for TV, 2 TVs over here, 2 TVs over there. But people who have seniorities get to choose the channel. And because
and seniority means who's been there the longest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't sleeping in the same ward as he was, so he didn't think that I belonged in there. And he's Cuban, so you wanted to flex, And he actually came over to where I was. He didn't even sleep over there to pick a fight with me. So I'm ready. So I see him coming down because he said something when I was in the hallway, and I kind of ignore him. Walk away from him. And he said something in Spanish. I don't know what he was saying. So I just kept on walking. He's like, hey, he's trying to and I kept on walking. So I went back to my bed, and here he comes walking down, the aisle. And he's walking down the aisle where I sleep. And what the fuck you looking at? And I looked at him, I'm like, your mother. Because I'm ready to send it off at that time. So I said, what you say? He said to me, I said, your mother. And he came up to me and he tried to, but everybody at that point got up. My roommate, my roommate, the guy that slept next door to me, jumped up in between us. And when Junior swung, he was between me and Junior, so he took the hit. You know what I'm saying? All right. And when I went back to get at Junior, I don't know if these guys have anything on them. First time I'm going to the prison. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that you have the lock on my locker. Mm-hmm. Okay. The combination lock.
Yeah.
So I make sure I take the combination lock. I put the ring around the hind part around my hand, and I'm gonna if I'd hit him, I would have broke his jaw in several places. You know what I'm saying? So it's the best thing that my guy that slept beside me had jumped up between us. And, he wanted to get going. I'm like, yo, let's go. He went and he got 8 or 9 guys. Everybody in there is going to see this, by the way. And when he went and got those guys and came over there was a bunch of Puerto Ricans that I dealt with. That they came and said, Peter, what's going on? And I told them what was going on. And when he come over there with all his Cuban friends, them Puerto Ricans shut him down. They're like, what you doing? No, you ain't doing that over here. No, you ain't doing that over here. You're not going to touch him. And then my Jamaican friends the next day went and saw him and tell him, yo, you got to apologize. You know what I'm saying? So an hour later, he was apologizing to me. And then it happened again with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And that one, we had to go on the other side of the wall for that one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Y'all physically fought.
Yeah. Yeah, because, he tried me. He felt like he could. Yeah, but that was it.
But the thing is this. Because, and tell me if I got this wrong,
Mm-hmm.
the actual unit that you're at, right? I assume that everybody's there because they did something along the lines of what you did.
It was white. Most of the guys in the camp is white collar crime.
Right.
But there's a lot of guys. I said half the camp was Puerto Ricans. Okay, and there's no federal facility in Puerto Rico. Some of the guys are from the Virgin Islands also. So there's no federal facility there. So if they're doing the kind of white collar crime, they're gonna send those guys to because they're U.S. citizens. They're gonna send those guys to the camp if it wasn't, something like murder or like
Yeah,
rape or anything.
because you hear
like
about
that.
like the jails where it's murder and these violent
Yeah.
crimes, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of will assume that okay, violence will be there.
No, I wasn't around. I don't believe I was around anybody like that. But there's guys though that went to prison for I don't know their record, but they
Right.
went to to penitentiary, then worked their way down to a medium, then worked their way down to a low, all right, and then eventually come to a camp. Those guys don't want no problems because they don't want to go back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, when you're in there, you have to, there's a lot. Nobody wants to be there. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know. I see guys who have, they want to fight over the wall phone. There's 5 wall phone, only 1 work. You know what I'm saying? And you get 15 minutes on it. So there's a lot of people that the conversation might end with whoever they dealing with, and it didn't end on a good note, and they put them in a bad mood, and you might say the wrong thing to them, and they swing on you. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to be there either. Everybody's life is falling apart when you go there, because family are mismanaging funds that you left out there, business are closing. My business closed while I was in there. You know what I'm saying? Girlfriends are no longer girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people pretty much, kind of write you off once you're not in, you're not in society anymore. For me, I knew that I had maximum to do was 18 months. Okay. I'm counting the days every day. That's the worst thing to do is to count the days.
Because it feels the days are
It's
long.
longer.
Yeah.
And then you try to keep yourself busy, but like you got to eat chow at breakfast at 5:30 in the morning, and by 7:30 I'm at the gate because I got an outside job. Shout out to all my friends at the car wash. I was washing cars, okay, and power washing concrete for 7 months at $18 a month. That was my pay.
Wow.
So if you don't have nobody to send you money and you're in there, your $18 a month can't buy anything at the commissary. So you just got to eat whatever they give to you.
So
And
this
what
really-
they give to you is garbage.
Because
Yeah.
here you are. You were
Yeah.
married to a supermodel. You
Yeah.
lived in nice mansions. Your pretty much your adult life. You had a very privileged life.
Yeah.
And being in this confinement, I'm pretty sure it just humbled you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? It took it. I would say the first 10 days, I didn't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to call anyone.
Did you cry yourself to sleep sometimes at night?
It doesn't take much for me to cry. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, because I don't know the people. I don't know if I didn't sleep. To be honest with you, for 5 months, and everybody that's still in the camp noticed about me, I don't sleep. Because I'm not around anyone that I know, that really knows me. So I'm around a bunch of men. Okay, the mattress is this thick, and if you go out and get a mattress that's not issued by them, they're gonna take it. Okay, you're not supposed to have any pillows, and my whole body was out of alignment. Couldn't even get up and walk.
Because in the pillow, you could suffocate yourself with someone.
I don't know why they didn't want you to have pillows, but they didn't want you to have no pillows. And it's cold. I was in a unit that was felt like it was 55 degrees every day. And they want you to only have one blanket. And if, good thing that I know somebody that could got me another blanket. But then they'll do these ridiculous lockdown and ridiculous raid in the middle of the night and locked everybody up and then take all your shit. And then you start over again looking for a blanket. And they don't care if you get cold. One thing I could tell you about the prison system is that they don't give a fuck about you. You understand what I'm saying? If I went to see, I was playing pickleball. I was a pickleball champ. First time they had a pickleball competition. All right? And I hurt my ankle. And I went and got an x-ray. And when I talk about getting the x-ray, you have to right, I find out you have to write a request to get the X-ray back, and nobody came back at me. So for 5 months, I couldn't really walk properly or run in there. So I walked every day. I walked. My piece was going out to the track and walk the track every day because the track was outside. So as long as I could be outside, I would be outside. I get to look at the stars, you know, see the birds, see the planes, the trees, the wind blowing. Anything was peaceful to me, anything like that. The moment they lock the door, boom, boom, and you hear that lock, or there's a lockdown, because I don't like to feel like I can't be outside. The third day in there, I had a nervous breakdown, and the two officers that saw me at 3:30 in the morning, I felt like I couldn't breathe. They looked at me and they're like, "Yo, what you doing in the situation?" I said, "If you just open the door for me and just let me go outside for 2 minutes and breathe, I'll feel okay." All right, and they look at each other, and they said, "Okay, 2 minutes." I said, "Can I get some ice?" They said, "Yeah, you could get some ice." So they said, "Go get your cup." So I run and got my cup, run back out there to get some ice. And I'm like, damn, I'm in prison, for real. Yeah. And then I come back in and they locked the door, and then I had to go back in and try to make myself go to sleep, but it was difficult. You can't sleep in an environment like that. You know, and then like from my bed, I'm looking down the hall, and the light in the bathroom is on, and if they flush the toilet, you hear it. Guys will take late showers. You know, I don't know what they was doing in the bathroom, but it was filthy all the time. You know, so every time I go in there, I had to spray and hose it down with hot water just to take a shower. It was nothing nice.
Were men having sex in the unit?
I ain't never seen that.
Did they try you?
No, not at all. I've never seen that, so I can't talk about that. I wouldn't surprise if it happened. You know, but I've never seen it. There was one guy that used to like to go in there and read his book at nighttime, and he was gay. And his chair was always facing the urinal. So if you get up to go pee at night, you gotta look behind and say, if he's looking at you pee, I'm like, yo, money, why face the urinal? You know what I'm saying? Turn away. You know, it was crazy. He turned out to be a really nice guy.
Well, you know the gays, we love you, Peter.
I was in the halfway house
you love
with
the
him,
gays.
and he was cool.
You're gay friendly.
Yeah, he was cool.
Especially as a Jamaican.
Yeah.
Well, no, the thing is, I mean, my heart goes out to you, and just, I mean, look, obviously, you pled guilty, you own up to what you've done, you paid your dues, right? You only served how many months? 7 months?
I was in the camp for 7 months. Then after the camp, you go to the halfway house. To me, the halfway house was worse than the camp.
What?
Yeah, it
So
was.
explain to us. So the halfway house, you were able to leave prison, and you go to like you're on house arrest.
No, not quite.
No?
Not in my situation. The halfway house is like, okay, you get to the halfway house, and the whole purpose of the halfway house to me is to get you conditioned to go back out, right? I was sleeping in a room with like 3 other guys, right? In a bunk bed. First I was on the top bunk in another room, and I complained about climbing up. I'm like, I was told that nobody over 60 is supposed to be on the top bunk. I'm 65. I can't be on the top bunk.
Right.
Okay? So they moved me 2 days later into another room, and I have bottom bunk at this time. Because the guy that was leaving said, yo, Peter, you can have my bunk. You know what I'm saying? Just let them know I'm leaving on this day and put in the request to have it. I went and talked to them. They honor it. So he left, and I took his bunk. But there was 3 other guys in the room with me. And one of the guys that was sleeping on the bottom bunk, he was really quiet. It took him probably around 3-4 days for him and I to have a conversation, and then he was Jamaican. He was Jamaican, you know. And then I found out that he's coming off of 22 years, been locked up. You know, they went to Jamaica to get him, to bring him back to America, found him guilty, and he did 22 years in a country that he never visited, right? Okay, in very maximum prison, you know, because of who was along with his case. It's a drug case. All right, so I used to look at him, and he seems like he was normal. And then I talked to him, and he was normal. And I don't know how he did 22 years. And then the guy that slept above him was coming off of 15 and a half years. Then the guy above me was doing 7.5 years. And here I am in there, just came off of 7 months in a prison camp. I felt like, man, what the hell am I complaining about? But that's, you know, our lives are different. You know what I'm saying? I think a tax thing, you should be able to pay a tax. You shouldn't be going to jail for no tax unless, you know, like you just blatantly just disrespect them. I didn't feel in my case that was the case because we were working it out and I was sending payments, trying to pay it off. So to me, it's like, yo, listen, how am I going to relate to him? He's doing 22 years and he's doing 15 years. And the other guy's doing 15 years. The guy above me is doing 7.5 years. It was crazy. But, you know, there was decent people. I ended up in a room where there was decent people. I'm the guy with from Jamaica, he ended up going home a month before I did. And he called me once a week just to say hi. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing well, okay? And I guess he's telling people, hey, I know Peter, and I was in the same room with Peter. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he FaceTime me. And he still don't have nothing to say. Just checking on you. And then we'll be on the phone like, and then I have to make the conversation because he's not that talkative. You know, and the other guys that's in there, I mean, like, I feel bad for them because most of these guys have nothing to go back out to. Nothing. And there's no rehabilitation program in the Federal Institute. None that I've seen. Okay, none. All right, we did a Money Smart class, and I got up there and talked about the restaurant business and how to get into it in the whole 9 yards. And I really wanted to teach people because a lot of them, once you have that federal tag on you, I know my number. You remember my number? 232-99511. That's my number. Why would I have that number? You know what I'm saying? It's not my social security number. It's my prison number, okay, that they give you, and it stays with you until you die, or unless somebody pardon you, and then they sponge your records, and it's all gone.
So the thing now, okay, so you owe restitution.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you owe restitution?
$2.5 million.
So did the $400,000 that was withheld, did that, all the interest and stuff?
No. And the money that they seized in all 3 of my accounts, they didn't put it towards it either.
They seized your bank account.
Yeah, they when they came, they already shut you down. You know.
So how are you gonna pay all that money back?
Well, thank God that I have a gift and I could do things to make a lot of money to pay them back. So to me, $2.5 million is not a lot of money to pay back. There's cats beside me, to the right and left of me, that restitution is $100 million. You know, they're never going to pay that back. Never. Everybody I talk in there, when there's some guys that I was laying beside that had restitution of $7-8 million, and they paid it before they even went to jail. And everybody's looking at them like, why did you do that? You know, at your age. You know what I'm saying? To pay, my lawyer asked me, how long would it take for you to make $2.5 million? And I said, if I have a good run, I could do it in a year.
You believe that you can make $2.5 million within a year?
Bar One Miami Beach was doing $8-9 million a year. Okay, all right, net $2-3 million after everything is paid. Yeah, so the industry that I'm in, I could easily make that kind of money.
And is that your plan, to open up another bar and restaurant?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have one in mind that you're going to do in Miami?
Yeah, I have a couple that I want to do, but I don't think I could talk about
Okay, you
it
can
as
talk
yet.
about it.
You know, I got to make sure that I let everybody know I'm crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
You have investors who's going to help you with that. Okay.
because they understand. Business people understand. I went to jail. I didn't steal anything from nobody. I went to jail for withholding taxes that I agreed to pay. So I'm not a thief. You know what I'm saying? And they know that my track record that that's the first time out of 18 restaurants and bars and lounge in a 38-year career that have ever happened to me, and that have happened to the best of them. We have a guy in the office now that has 34 accounts on all type of bullshit and failed 1,000 times and probably evade taxes hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's in the White House. You know what I'm saying? But I went to jail for $2.5 million that I could have easily paid off within a year or two. You know, they stop your life. When they come, they seize all your asset, all your bank account, okay, freeze everything. So just before I went away, they was talking about employees couldn't get paid, and they were trashing me in the media. And
Well, I want you to address that.
yeah,
There were people saying you weren't paying your employees.
how could I pay them? They froze everything.
Prior to that, there were people.
It wasn't prior to that. By the time it came out.
By the time it came out.
Yeah.
So when the employees went on social media and
Yeah.
saying we haven't received a check,
They didn't know what was going on.
and you didn't tell them what was going on.
No, they didn't know what was
Got
going
it.
on.
Do you have money now that you're able to do things with?
This is gonna be edited. You know what I'm
Well. Okay. What I'm getting at is, are your accounts still frozen?
Those accounts are frozen, but they allow you to
Even
open
when you
them.
get out, they're still frozen.
They're gone. They took that money. They're not giving that back.
They took everything.
Yeah.
They garnished everything.
Everything. And if you own a car with the title, they're taking it. If you have a condo and it's paid for, they're taking it. They don't like to touch LLC or any kind of corporation because they don't have the manpower to manage such thing and sell your assets. So they'll take your house, they'll take your car, things that they could flip and get the money right away. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want your business. You know, but when they seize Baltimore and Atlanta, what they did at that time, they took hundreds of thousands of dollars and they force you out of business. And now you can't pay your purveyors, you can't pay your employees, you can't pay your landlord, you can't pay everything, and everything start crumbling. And then they're watching to see where they say, oh, you got money. Where's the money?
Yeah.
So they're watching to see where the money's gonna come from for you to pay it, that they could go seize that also. So you have to make a choice, okay? At that point, you just got to let go, you know, and you're getting trashed. You're getting trashed by your employees. You're getting trashed by the purveyors. My landlord knows my situation. My landlord right now would rent me a spot tomorrow. Matter of fact, I just got a location from his son because they know who I am. And that landlord have rent 7 different locations to me in Miami. So he knows my character. So he have no problem giving me back a waterfront property or any A-plus property that he has because he knows who I am. But the people that don't know me and your employee, you know, these people in the restaurant business, you know, a lot of them work from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, you know, as a server or as a bartender, you know. So when they can't cash a check, okay, because they don't even know the reason why, and I wasn't telling anybody. I wasn't going to, I didn't even want to give her a plug, but there's one podcast girl that was just trashing me with an ex-manager, that she was a felon, she was a thief, you know what I'm saying? And she only worked for me for 5 weeks, and she was trashing me, okay? All right? And I had to put her situation out there. You trashing me, you're a thief in Virginia, you know what I'm saying? Your restitution is way more than mine. You know what I'm saying? But and she was doing interviews just to make sure that she buried me. But I mean, she's buried. I'm not worrying about her. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back out, and I've done so much great business with so many great people that everybody, I'm coming back out, and my friends are like, yo, we got this venue. We want you to take it over because we can't do nothing with it, and we know you can make it pop. Here's the keys.
Well,
Okay?
look, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good that you
Yeah.
got out with something that you actually can look forward to. When you were in, you said you were disappointed that some people did not, they did not keep in contact with you. One of those people that you mentioned was your ex-wife Cynthia Bailey,
You was gonna say that.
and
Yeah.
it, of course, it blew up on the blogs,
Yeah.
and a lot of people, Peter, did not like that because
Yeah.
they felt like this woman held you down for so many years. They felt like Cynthia Bailey has never once said anything negative about you in the press. They did not feel like she deserved that from you.
Okay, those must be Cynthia fans because Cynthia did do something that hurt me.
What did she do?
Okay, we had purchased during our divorce. You know, of course, people on her side of the fence, mostly her family, was like, "Oh, he's gonna want this and he's gonna want that," and they put that in her ear, right? Now, I never married Cynthia for what Cynthia could do for me because when I met Cynthia, I was opening a restaurant. She came on board on that restaurant uptown. Okay, I had like 700,000 my money into it. I think she put up like $100,000. All right, and that's when Obama was running for president, and there was no gas. You got to go find gas in long lines in Atlanta, and my restaurant came to a halt. Okay, I just met her, right? And she had just moved from New York with her daughter and her nanny to come and live with me, right? And we actually bought a house together. Okay, you was in that house. That's where I first met you.
Yeah.
But I wasn't at home feeling sorry for myself when Uptown had to close. I went immediately and found a little one called Bar One, all right? And that's when the girls was trashing it. Oh, it's in the hood, the whole 9 yards on the show. And I honor her. When you walked in there, it was an 8x10 picture. Powerful black woman with an afro when you walked in there. Okay, Cynthia Bailey. I didn't ask Cynthia for any contribution for that place, none. And I wanted to hold it down as a proud black Jamaican man. I'm not looking for no woman to take care of me, okay? So when we was going through the divorce, I had to call up Wendy Williams because I know I was going to get trashed by a black woman, okay? All right, I called up Wendy Williams and I asked her, she said, "Oh, we're doing our last show just Thursday. If you could come, I'd give you 5 minutes." And I went on Wendy's show just to tell everybody during my divorce, I'm taking nothing from Cynthia Bailey. Okay? All right? But what Cynthia did while I left and I drove and moved my life and start my life over in Charlotte, you guys didn't even know when I actually did that. You guys found out after. I think you already left. You know what I'm saying? They found out after that Cynthia and I wasn't even together. I was in Charlotte. Okay, I had sports one up there, I had club one up there. I walked away. This happened 2016, March of 2016. Okay. And out of the divorce, when I say I want nothing, we had acquired Auburn Avenue, a property on Auburn Avenue where I wanted to do Bar One Atlanta, right? So out of the divorce, that was my property, and the money that went towards that property is the deal that her and I had. The deal that her and I had that nobody know about is that after all the bills are paid, I get 15 to 20%. Remember the guy who flew all the way to Atlanta to fight with me because Kenya wouldn't give him any money? And he said me and Todd told him that. So that money that wrote that check, $160,000 for that property in Auburn Avenue, was my property. Okay? And that's the only thing I took in the divorce. My lawyer wanted me to take half the income because I was entitled, okay, to half, okay? I'm like, I'm not doing that. She could have.
But you had a prenup, I thought.
No, we never had no prenup.
You and Cynthia never had a prenup.
Never. Okay? So she could, what prenup? There was nothing to prenup when we got married. There was no money. You know, so there was no reason for no prenup. So, when we went to the divorce, I said, "Hey, Cynthia, you could sell the house. I don't want any money from the house. You could keep the house." Okay? I said, "You can't live in the house. because you starting a new life. Why would you want to bring somebody new into a house that was our dream? You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went down. So she agreed to sell the house. A year or so later, I didn't want no 50% of her salary. I didn't want her to pay me a dime. I didn't ask for none of that shit, okay? And she was on, my lawyer was looking at me like, you bugging, okay? All right, and the only reason why I was on there at Hannah Atlanta Housewife because I was her husband. We got married on the show.
Right.
It didn't call the Peter and Cynthia show, you know what I'm saying? So she could keep it, all right? I took nothing. A year later, then I was in the middle of doing some deal for the property that I have on Auburn Avenue and for a major deal that I was doing because Baldwin took off, right? So people wanted to come in, and I was building Baldwin, Baltimore at the time. And a lawsuit came out, said Cynthia Bailey is suing Peter Thomas for money invested in Auburn Avenue property. And no one called me. She didn't call me and even talk about that. And so I got on the phone with her attorney, like, what? What's going on? So when my investors saw that, it killed that deal. It's a $10 million deal. Died immediately. Because they said, damn, he's not even paying his ex-wife. Okay? That property was
How
mine.
much money was it?
What? That she was suing me for?
Yeah.
She was suing me for, I think, for the property. They wanted her to, her lawyer probably talk her into it, or somebody talk her into it to get the property. The property was just sitting there in Auburn Avenue for 7 years. I didn't do anything with it, but we paid it cash. I went and negotiated with the mayor at the time, and he said a nonprofit have some that need the money, have properties on Auburn Avenue, and I went over there and I selected one that I want, and she wrote the check. So she wrote that check for the property that I need.
Got it.
All right, and eventually we settled where I gave her $100,000 back for the property.
And from my understanding, you
Yeah.
guys were good, though. She was on your podcast.
Yeah,
So my point is, no, I'm aware of all of that.
Yeah.
But you guys were good. She came on your podcast. Everything seemed good. Why did you, though, feel the need to blast her?
blast her because that hurt me, that she did, and with no apologies whatsoever.
But I got past that.
No.
Because when you blasted her, you said she didn't contact me and
Yeah.
check in
I'm
on
gonna
me.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you what happened.
Okay.
Because I never spoke on it before, and since you're already in the mix, I could speak on it now. Okay. I lived in a townhouse where she did the podcast at, and that's the first time I've seen Cynthia in years, right? So she agreed to do the podcast. She came to my townhouse, beautiful townhouse in Buckhead. I felt like this is my home, right? And because I'm going away and the IRS is still on me and the company that it was under, I wanted to secure it because I'm going away. And I said, if I go away for a year, at least a year, 14, 15 months, I want to come back to my home, all right? So I needed to make a payment, okay, to just pay it off. Okay, so I said, Cynthia, I need you to write this check. As a matter of fact, Cynthia, I need you to buy this townhouse from me, all right, under your company name. Okay, I'm gone. Okay, could rent it out, Airbnb it, whatever, because I have $350,000 in equity into this place. Okay, I don't want to lose that money. Okay, all right. And if you can't Airbnb it or for whatever reason, you could sell it. It's under your company name. Okay, but at least I know there's a chance of me having my home when I get back out. And we met at a restaurant in Duluth. And she agreed, and I talked to my banker, which I introduced her to, which is now her banker, okay? And I involved my friend Sunita Brooks in it because she was talking to Cynthia more than I was talking to. I wasn't trying to talk to Cynthia every day. So I had Sunita in the mix talking to her to make sure it would go down. And like 10 days before the process folded, I called her on the 9th day and said, "Hey, look, I've been texting you, and for you to engage with people that we could do the purchase." And I don't know what happened within her saying yes and that 10 days. But I sent her a text, and her reply was, "I feel like I'm being pressured. I feel like I'm being bullied." Okay. And I'm like, what? Because we had a great lunch. Okay. I thought everything was good. I'm the guy who walked away not taking 50% of the money, not taking any money, future money, just walked away. Sell the house, keep the money from the proceeds from the house, do whatever. Anything you think I owed you, you got it. Okay, I don't want nothing. So when she did that to me, and the day when I made that statement is the day that the marshal knocked on my door at 7:30 in the morning and give me 15 minutes to get out of my townhouse. Okay? And I thought we were good. I thought I didn't take nothing from the divorce. I thought we were friends. She just did the podcast in the said townhouse. And now I lost my house because she didn't stand up for me like I stood up for her. I took for years, Carlos, and you produce these shows where people were saying I'm broke, she's supporting me, I am living off of her and all of that shit, and none of that shit was true. But that's the show, that's the way the show is edited. So when I go out there, I have to face that every day. I have to face that. I was in Publix once, and a woman said, "When you gonna pay Cynthia back her money?" I'm like, "What money?" So it was crazy. So I took those abuse, and I would say for the first 3-4 years, Cynthia didn't know how to make that vehicle Atlanta housewife work. She didn't know how to mix it up with Nene or with anybody. And I was always in her ears. You used to push me into a situation where we turn up the numbers. You know what I'm saying? Because every year you have to wait to see if they're gonna get you back. You have to wait for that letter after the reunion. Mm-hmm. And Cynthia was always in panic mode, you know what I'm saying? That she might not get called back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to help her, to make sure that she get called back. And you helped. You're the one who made the guys make the show more interested. You know what I'm saying? So for years, I wasn't getting paid.
Well, it sounds like this, because I want to be real with you, because the thing is, I definitely, thanks for explaining it, because I have a greater understanding, right?
Yeah.
I do think, though, this, and I'm being honest with you, me and you are honest with each other.
Yeah.
I do think, though, in Cynthia's defense, right, she doesn't owe you anything anymore.
Not now, she doesn't.
Well, I think this.
Yeah.
You know her better than I do. You was married to the woman.
Yeah.
You know she's very sweet. Like how I say you're sensitive and you're a nice guy with a warm heart and all those things. I will say the same things about her. She's very sweet. She always wants to do the best for anybody. I think, look, I'm not here to speak for her. I'm not her spokesperson. But I'm aware of the dynamic of y'all two. And I want you to know, I do believe in Cynthia's defense, it could be hard for her to disappoint you because she does appreciate you. And she always has given you your props in terms of helping her understand this entertainment, unscripted world. And she does value you. I think Cynthia, at some point, probably felt the need to just say to herself, I have to cut the cord here. Now, granted, should she have said all those things to you at the lunch? Absolutely. But I do believe that Cynthia doesn't ever want to disappoint you, because you know her. She doesn't want to disappoint anybody. And is that fair to say? You were married to her. She doesn't have the spirit, her friendship with Nene, when you used to complain and say, you talk to her 20 hours a day. What about your husband? Well, I don't want to disappoint her because she's my friend on the show. And so, she has the spirit of, I don't want to disappoint people. I do feel like this. I do feel like you harbored a lot of resentment.
I did. And there's a lot of times Cynthia could speak up and she said nothing. There's a lot of times Cynthia could come to my rescue. Like even when we was in Mexico, I believe, and me and Nini got into it, and she called me a bitch and all of that. My wife didn't stand up for me.
You still hold on to that.
No, I remember it. I don't hold on to it. I remember it.
Okay.
That she didn't.
How long does it mean you're
Yeah.
talking?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
received that.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you eye to eye.
Yeah.
I received that.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good. But how long did you hold on to that? Because
I didn't hold on to it. You know, it echoed across the planet. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, the show was huge,
yeah,
and
yeah.
till this day, people call you Patricia because of that one moment,
because of
right?
that one moment, yeah,
And I do understand as a black heterosexual man,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good, right?
Not at all, but I didn't hold on to it. I promise you I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, because I always see the show as a business. I never took it personal. Okay.
But you took her not defending you personally,
Exactly.
because that's your wife,
Because that's my wife.
and I received
Yeah.
that. So
Okay.
when it came to what happened later, look, one thing we know is when someone is dealing with the reality of going to prison, you do have moments where you sit back and you think about all the things and you reflect on who's there for you, who's not. And that's why I do understand how you're feeling. I will say, personally, as your friend, though, Peter, I'm saying to you, I just don't think Cynthia deserved that in that moment.
Well, I never go out there. That's why she came and did my podcast when
Well,
I
I
asked her
know,
to.
but see,
Yeah.
everything you're saying is the reason why I'm saying to you as your friend.
But you don't know what happened after that. And there's certain things that even on
And-
this podcast I won't talk
and
about.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
out of respect of your
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
and your friendship with me, I don't even want to know, and,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask because I don't want to cause anything that could ruin what's left of your friendship. But the point I was making was this.
Yeah.
Because I am aware that you two had, because you both said this to me when I came back, season 9, and we went to Hawaii together, right? And y'all both said to me, we're not going to trash each other.
Yeah.
And if that's what you want, you ain't getting it. And I said, I don't want that. And I actually respect it. I actually wanted to see y'all have fun. And y'all have fun in Hawaii. And I think the reason why I was shocked by it.
We was in separate rooms in a while.
No, I know, but I
Yeah.
know I'm saying y'all dynamic.
Yeah.
It was like we can like hang out in Hawaii and get along. So what I'm saying to you is I was shocked that when you made that comment, is only because of the pact that I know y'all had.
Well, there's things that, there's things that happen between Cynthia and I that I know if I speak on it, it will completely crush her.
Well,
Right?
don't speak on
But I
it.
will never.
And I don't want you
Yeah,
ever to do
I
it.
will never.
Promise
Okay?
me you
I
won't
promise,
ever.
I promise you I will never.
Even when you're mad. Because you are.
I've been mad. I've been mad. and I
I'm
never
asking
did.
you, Libra to Libra.
Yeah.
Don't you ever speak on
No,
it.
I would never.
Okay.
That's dead. That's
Okay.
gone. You know, that's two boyfriend and a husband already. You know what I'm saying? I'm so far removed. I'm happy.
Did
the
you have to
first
say
thing you
that?
said to me was when, yeah, I did. Because
Go
I
ahead.
have to let these people know. Okay, when you saw me, you said, yo, you look peaceful. I am
You
peaceful.
do.
Yeah, I am.
You do.
You know,
And-
I'm past all of that.
I also want to give you your grace.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it's like to be in prison and what that does to your mental health. And that's why I'm not here bashing you for what you did. I'm aware that when a man enters that world,
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something.
go ahead.
Before I go to prison, okay, 2020, December 9th, my dad passed away. All right?
Yes. Sorry
And
about that.
yeah. And I don't even remember. I don't think Cynthia was there at the funeral or anything like that. I think only Apollo showed up. Right. Okay. But when my dad passed away on December 9th, 2020, I was doing well. I was building a restaurant in waterfront property in Baltimore. And a year later, when the place opened, I completely fell apart in the airport. Like, start bawling in the airport. Don't even know why. Uncontrollable. Humiliated by everybody because I'm getting on Southwest and everybody on Southwest is black, so everybody knows me. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, and people coming over and rubbing my back and, are you okay, Peter? And they don't know what was going on. But because I'd held so much disappointment, so much hurt, never been to, don't know where my grandmother is buried in Jamaica. Never went to visit my little brother from he died in 1976, right? Never went to his graveside. And then my dad died. And then it felt like everything collapsed. Mm-hmm. And the people that I thought that loved me and cared for me wasn't around. Nobody was around, okay? All right, and I was in a depression and nobody knew. But my attorney, Wendy Cradle, and to be honest with you, Alonzo Mourning wife, Tracy Mourning, saw the look in my face, and Tracy Mourning really said I need to get on this Bible study program. She insists I got on it. When I got on it, the guy who was conducting it was a friend of mine, Curtis Martin, the football player. And I fell apart on that phone, okay, at the Bible study. And I bawled like I never did before. And I would shock the celebrities that was calling me, that had my personal number when I got off the phone, that was calling me and like, are you okay? And one of them suggested I go see somebody to recommend someone. And I went and saw that one for me to heal. So there's a lot of things that I did in my life. And one of the biggest things that I've done in I had a complete successful life before I met Cynthia Bailey, okay? But that housewife thing, I was in Target yesterday. I'm not supposed to go to Target, boycott, but I was in Target yesterday. And when I was in Target yesterday, there's two gay guys like, oh my God, Peter. And, they ran up on me. You know what I'm saying? And they would say, oh, we just watched you last week. And I'm looking at you like, I haven't done that show in 5-6 years. And you watched me last week. And I guess it's reruns that they're
Peacock.
watching.
Yeah,
it's on Peacock. Yeah. So it never, I remember seeing you in front of the camera when you was hosting The Housewife. You would, hosting reunion shows, I think,
Hollywood
for your
Divas.
and stuff like that. I said, yeah, I'm so glad he's in front of the camera. Now that black motherfucker gonna know what it feels like to be in front of the camera and for people to know who you are. Exactly, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, your life changed, didn't it?
It's a lot of pluses.
Yeah, your life.
But baby,
it's a lot of negative.
It's a
lot of negative.
Yes.
Now you can't hide anymore.
No
matter what you do, you can't hide anymore. Right?
Yes, that's true.
So, and then I got, for the next 5 years before it really took off, before she really started making some money after year 4, because they paid us nothing the first year.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, nothing first year, or second year, or third year. By 4th year, you start making some money. But by 4th year, I was a bum to everybody that watched that show. You know what I'm saying? Because she's Cynthia Bailey. They didn't know about Peter Thomas that was in the music industry, that was successful. I executive produced the Source Awards on UPN, okay? Run with Russell and Leor, okay, at Def Jam, largest music conference, hip-hop conference the world I've ever seen to date. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I've done a lot of amazing things. They didn't know that, Peter Thomas. They all went by what was unscripted, but what the message was, oh, he's living off his supermodel wife.
And is that something that affected you?
Of course it affected.
I don't think people knew that. It affected you one thing Cordell said, and I interviewed Portia recently, and I said, I remember Cordell saying, I'm a Heisman Trophy winner. He probably said this to you, I think, in a scene.
I talked him into doing the scene because he wouldn't have done it.
No, I know. Thanks to you.
Yeah.
I know. I was there.
Yeah.
You made it happen for sure. But I remember him saying, it was I believe to you, he said, I'm a Heisman Trophy winner, and when people see me now, they say, "Aren't you Portia's ex-husband?"
Exactly.
And he felt he was reduced.
You was reduced.
And so you felt that way.
I felt reduced.
You felt reduced.
Okay, they didn't know. People in the music industry were shocked that I even done it. But the only reason why I did that show, because I didn't even know anything about the show when Satchel Jester told me about it. Satchel, that used
Love
to work for me,
Satchel. Yeah,
is the
Satchel's
one who
amazing.
introduced us to it, right? Okay, and to me, like, I could see the depression when Macy's headquarters in Miami closed. Macy's, that was her #1 ticket when she was modeling, start closing different location that they used to shoot for print ad, the production company, the one in Miami had closed, and that was the biggest back then. You know what I'm saying? So, and then she used to go to Dallas for J.C. Penney's, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh shit, she's coming to the tail end of her career. The only reason why I said, yo, let's do it, because I saw the vision that it was gonna blow up and it was gonna be a good thing for her. You know what I'm saying?
And it has been.
And yeah.
Are you surprised that she is still a part of the show?
Yeah, she don't know how to let go of shit like that. She counts her pennies. Come on, you know Cynthia.
Oh,
you know Cynthia.
And
Okay.
I live.
Yeah, and I don't blame her.
No, but my point
Yeah.
is, let's be real.
Yeah.
Everyone counted her out when
Yeah.
you and her divorce and when her and Nene friendship
Yeah.
ended. They all said, without Peter and Nene, you're nothing. So I will say, I am proud that she is showing people she can stand on her own 2 feet. Are you?
No, she is.
I know, but
I am proud.
okay.
I
So
am
you
proud
are
of
proud.
her. Yes, I am proud.
Okay.
I don't watch the show. I don't, but when I see clips from it, okay, because I see clips on my Instagram all the time and feed on Facebook, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, oh shit, nigga know how to talk now. She know how to stand up for herself now. That shit is dope.
No, she's
but
doing- she's
what's
doing
this?
good.
Year 2009 and we're in 2026? Come on,
17 years later. No,
Yeah, 17 years later.
She's doing an amazing
Yeah.
job. So look, there are rumors that you and Todd Tucker are doing a reality show together.
Oh, wow.
Is that true?
Okay, now I did an interview with Michelle Brown, and Todd had told me that he wanted to do something with the guys, and when I was on it, okay, because Michelle is a friend of mine.
Yeah.
So I was laying in my bed in the halfway house, all right, and it's still prison, by the way. Halfway house is prison, and when I was laying in my bed and doing the interview, I said, yo, me and Todd said, she says it's true that the romance. I said, yeah, it is. You can't do anything with the husband without me. I'm ask Carlos King. I'm that guy. I'm the #1 guy. You know what I'm saying? So with saying that, I got in trouble. They took my phone away from me and gave me an extra 30 days. Took my phone away from me. Okay, said that I went against BOP policy. And the day I was supposed to leave, they had me down there for 3 hours. And then they called me upstairs and said, hey, you're not going home today, and give us your phone. I'm like, why am I giving you my phone? Oh, you was on social media, and over 80,000 people saw what you was talking about, and it would go against our policy. So took my phone, no privilege, no visitation, okay? Can't order Uber Eats, which really hurt, you know what I'm saying? Because the food in there sucks, you know what I'm saying? All right, so I was on punishment. You know what I'm saying? Because I did that thing for Michelle talking about the Todd Tucker stuff.
So it is true.
Yeah. Todd haven't presented me with anything to say that the show is going forward.
You haven't signed a deal.
No, I haven't
But
signed a deal.
Y'all
but
had conversation. He called you about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And he already started shooting something because I did a scene with him on the phone.
He's shooting what?
I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
But I know he's shooting something, and he asked me to jump in on a phone call.
Okay.
Because he was hooking up with another guy. Okay, I can't talk about it because I promised him I wouldn't.
Okay.
But
Is Apollo part of this?
I know that he reached out to Apollo. I don't know if Apollo is a part of it because I don't speak to Apollo on like that.
Okay.
But I know something's in the works. And guess what? Look what Todd wants you some stuff also. You know what I'm saying? Candy Mother wasn't easy on Todd. And that's before they got married. So shit like that just don't go away. You know what I'm saying? It messes with your mental.
I was gonna say, I think what I'm hearing today, because you know, obviously the reality world is really built around women. But what I am hearing today that I hope people do walk away from is just as tough it is mental health wise for the women dealing with like what they go through on the shows and you know the comments and all that stuff. I think what I'm hearing right now is the stuff that men go through as well is just as tough for you guys. Like I actually do receive that because I don't think people look. I think when people see the guys, because y'all have such a relaxed relationship with the audience, you know, y'all don't crash out on Twitter, y'all don't read each other. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like
we're men, so
well,
we don't do that.
Yes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't affect us.
Exactly.
What affects us is for people think that you're bum and you're low life and you're not about nothing. There's nothing bum and low life about me or Todd. You know what I'm saying? And using him as a recent person.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't make a thing. I didn't ask Cynthia to pay me. You know what I'm saying? Or during the divorce, I didn't ask for no money from her. You know what I'm saying? Let's walk away with our sanity. You know what I'm saying? And live your life. I you know, like I'm happy for her. She got remarried. I was happy for her. You know what I'm saying? She got divorced. I'm like, I was sad. You know, it only lasts 2 years. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And now she got another boyfriend. I'm like, hey. I was going to say something, but it would have been too funny. It was crazy.
Well, y'all got something in common.
Well, hold on to that.
You both are dating people 30 years younger.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that. I thought, when I first saw the clip of the guy, I thought it was Buju Banton. I'm like, oh, shit. Cynthia just won.
I don't know if he's 30 years younger. I could be wrong.
You know
but speaking of which,
won.
I want to introduce somebody really quickly before I let you go. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So, Raindrops, give it up for Peter's new girlfriend, exclusively on Reality with the King.
Okay, before you bring her out, I'm going to say something, people, because you guys have so much shit to say. Please don't say it to me because we're going to have a problem. All right, another thing is that when nobody was there for me, the only person that drove 4 hours to come and visit me, 4 hours to go back and help me keep my sanity in that prison, okay, even though it was a camp, it's still, when you can't leave, it's not like, yo, guys, I'll see you later, and go home. There was this woman, okay? All right, and she might be younger than me, but she is a woman.
Yes.
Okay? All right, and if my daughters are okay with it, then I couldn't give two fucks what the rest of the world think about it.
She's over 30, so it's all good. Give it up for the beautiful Alex.
Yeah, she come.
Hi.
Where am I going?
So his lap. I mean, is that okay, Peter?
That's fine. She can sit in my lap any day of the week. There you go. Hi, honey.
Okay. Hi.
Great. Hello.
Put the mic closer.
Listen to you.
Hi, Alex.
How are you?
You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you, doll. I'm not really camera ready right now.
No, that's okay. Natural beauty is the best beauty. Why are you dating Peter Thomas?
You said why or while?
Why?
I mean, it's not even about who he is, honestly. I mean, for me, it's more so the character opposed to his name. You know what I mean? He's not the first high-profile person I've been with, so it's not.
Who is? Who's the first high-profile guy you dated?
When I was 20, I used to date Jacoby Jones that played for the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I guess like the late Jacoby Jones now.
Because she died, yeah.
He passed
That's sad.
like a year ago or so.
And who after him?
See, not who after
That's
him.
enough?
Yeah,
Just
no.
one more?
No, honestly, anybody else was just like, I met people, but never actually like dated or nothing personal.
How did y'all meet?
We met in Miami at a day party.
Yeah, at Dua. Okay, on April 6th.
April 6th, 2024.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he approached you?
No, we looked at each other across the way, and I looked at her and I said, "You're beautiful," and she said, "Thank you." And she was with her friends, and she was dancing, and then I kept on looking over there, and she's looking back. And my friends was with me, Lou Tucker was with me, and I'm like, and she came over. And like 20 minutes later,
it's more like a hit now, like, you know, like
yeah, we were holding,
like one of these.
What up, though?
Like, bring your ass over here.
And you said, okay.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Let me see what he
We
talked
were
about.
holding hands 20 minutes later.
Did you
And
know
then-
who he was?
Not until after the fact, until I walked away from him, and my friends was like, "That's Peter," and I'm like, "What?" Because to me, I'm like, it was more like a chemistry thing. You know what I mean? It's like in the club, loud music, it's dark, you know. And then once I walked away, they're like, "That's Peter." I'm like, "Peter?" They're like, "Housewives Peter." I was like, "You sure?" They're like, "Girl, that's Peter." And I'm like, "Oh well, hey." We just had a good time.
But you know what, though, what's so funny about that? Because after like 45 minutes of being in there, all right, she said she had to leave. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then she leaned over and we kissed each other on the mouth. My boys went nuts. Like, nigga, you just did that in public?
Y'all kissed on the first night?
Oh, we kissed on the first night.
I was in rare form. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, she had
I
a
was
glass
in
of champagne
When
in
he-
one hand and a
Yes.
shot glass
When he met
in the
me, I
other
literally had a
hand.
glass of champagne
Yeah.
and a shot of reposado in the other hand. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was feeling good that night for sure.
But she left, and I didn't have her number. And she went outside. She was gone, and I said, "Where you live?" And she said, "I live in Sarasota." And I said, "Oh shit!" So I can't see her tomorrow. So I just let it die. And then my guy come back on and said, "Yo, her friend is talking to somebody. She's still outside. If you want to get her number." So I went back outside and said, I asked her, "Can I have your number?" And she gave me her number. Okay, and that was it. She left off. She went back to Sarasota. I think it's like I don't know. I don't remember how it goes from there because I think I called you the next day or the day after or something like that.
The next day, just
Yeah.
to make sure that I made it home or
Yeah.
whatever. Da-da-da.
All right, gentlemen. Are you in love?
I am.
You in love? Do you have kids?
No.
Oh.
No biological kids.
Do you want kids with Peter?
I feel like.
You gotta ask Peter that. Then you gonna ask her that.
I mean, what do you mean?
Her,
Because that matters too.
her body, her choice.
Yeah.
That
Go
part.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
My
baby.
body, my choice.
That
I mean,
part.
you have a little
What is
say,
wrong
but
with
she
you?
has the main say.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe like.
No,
this is
but
like
you're not
80% and it's
Yeah.
like 20. It's like,
Honey, he's not asking Peter if Peter wants to have
Okay.
an infant.
Well, let me ask
Yeah.
you: Do you want to have kids?
I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Well, okay, that's fair.
Mm.
Would you want to have more kids?
No, that's a lot of work.
Okay.
But if it happened, I'm for it.
Well,
but I'm not looking for it to take
Are you
place, though.
guys using protection?
No, we're not.
Well, so what do you mean?
Yeah.
Your bed. So
Yeah, but only God could make that call.
you're not doing anything to prevent it, though.
Yeah, but only God could make that call.
She's in her 30s.
Mm-hmm.
She's a fertile woman. So Alex, listen, when it's all said and done, what would you like the world to know about Peter Thomas that they may not know or they may have misconstrued?
What I would like the world to know about Mr. Peter Thomas is that he does have a heart of gold. He's had his fair share, like everyone has, of not making the best decisions, but I feel like that's what builds your character, you know, and he comes off hard, he comes off this, you know,
Damn, everybody gonna try
this-
me now. 'cause I
No,
think I'm soft.
no, you're not soft. You're not soft at all. I feel like it's very circumstantial to where it's just like if you do right by you, you'll do right by other people. And so it's like it's a lot of misconception. I feel like as far as like who he actually is as a person. But I feel like as a whole, you have to know that he's a solid person. 110%. You know, I feel like he hasn't actually had the chance to be that genuine person that he actually is because he has to have that defense mechanism. Because I mean, he's a man.
He's a man.
You
yeah.
know.
And we know you know how to fight because we saw you fight on the podcast studio in honor.
That was a little.
God,
That
can't
was a
fight
fight. That
nobody.
was
Yeah.
Because y'all was fighting over Peter.
No, not even.
That's not true.
No,
I don't even know
we
those
had a
people.
we had a little tiff.
Don't know those people.
We had a tiff because the woman
Look
got
at his face.
disrespectful. That's why it led up to that. It got
No, the girl said that I
disrespectful.
dated someone that she's related to. I have never in my life.
And you was
dated
defending
anyone.
his honor.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm more so like, hey, you know, that's between him and God. If he's doing something behind my back and was done in the dark, always come
To light. Thank
you know
you.
what I mean? Always. So I'm not about to sit up here and be like, what happened? And because I feel like because I wasn't giving her the reaction that she wanted, she kept trying to poke the bear.
Yeah.
And then when it came to the point to where she started calling me out of my name, that's when I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna have to really.
She's not gonna take nobody.
But
yeah.
fighting over Peter Thomas, I don't have to fight over something I already have.
Oh.
That's crazy.
All right, Alex, child. All right. Well, look. I like her, by the way. Y'all been matching, giving me.
It wasn't even planned either.
What's your sign?
I'm a Taurus.
Ooh, May.
19.
Ooh. Spicy. She's spicy. She's a
Real
bull.
spicy, yeah.
Yes. Well, look, Peter, I will say this. I am happy that you're out. I'm happy that mentally you're doing good. You have a beautiful woman on your lap.
Thank you.
Take care of my guy.
I got you.
Okay.
With pride.
You know. Does your father like him?
He does. They actually met. He's not my dad.
Are they the same age?
No.
No, I'm older than
My
that.
dad's younger.
Your dad's younger.
My dad's in his 50s.
And he approves of this?
He
I think
does.
I'm probably around
I mean,
10
he
years
knows
old.
me. You know what I mean? I'm a very like wise woman. Like I'm 32, but I have the mind of like a 60-year-old woman. Like
She's old
seriously.
school. In a lot
I
of
be
ways.
teaching him stuff, you know, which is a balance, the moderation.
Well, he's a Libra.
You
He
gotta-
needs the.
You will know.
I know.
You
He's
know.
October 1st. I'm October 2nd.
Firsthand.
But no,
Y'all
all
like
jokes
twins.
aside, yeah, so that's my twin brother. I love him. Peter, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing, brother.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing. And Alex, keep him honest
I got you.
and safe.
That's the only choice.
All right, Raindrops. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.